I just found out tonight, the night that was supposed to be the biggest night of his life. The night when he was set to receive a prestigious award, and I found myself drowning in a sea of betrayal. His success? It would be the backdrop to something much more painful. I'm not going to drag you through the grueling details of our relationship. Let's just say it was love, deep love. Or at least, that's what I thought. But clearly, that love didn't run both ways. No, he didn't love me the way I loved him. I found something, proof. Small, intimate videos, evidence of his betrayal, and the girl? I don't know her. I wasn't supposed to find this, but snooping had its price. The girl? She has no idea who I am, not even a whisper of my existence. It's all so clear now. This night, this grand celebration, was supposed to be his moment. Hundreds of people, from his proud parents to influential council members, all gathered to see him shine. But it wasn't the perfect night I had imagined, not by a long shot. I only uncovered this awful truth because I had been working on something for him, a video capturing the significant moments of his life. You know, the typical sappy, sentimental thing. But now I felt burdened by a power I didn't know how to wield. I don't know what the right thing is anymore. I'm blinded by a cocktail of anger, grief, and confusion, but beneath all of it, there's still love. There's still a part of me that aches for him. Do I even want to do this? I've made up my mind, the relationship is over. There's no going back from this. I won't stand by while he cheats. That's non-negotiable. But the photos, those sweet, innocent selfies they shared, just the two of them. So much intimacy, no room for me in the frame. What do I do with them? Do I slip one into the slideshow, subtly letting him know that I know? Or do I let the night pass and confront him afterward, when his moment is over? I can't just walk out on him without any explanation. That's not me. It wouldn't feel right. But can I do the thing I've always avoided? Can I show him what I've uncovered in front of everyone? The photo, on the surface, it's just a picture of him with a friend. But to him, to me, it would speak volumes. It would be a message. But what kind of message? And what about her? The girl, she doesn't even know me. She's just another piece of the puzzle, another player in this messed up game. But if she's there tonight, how awkward would it be for her? I can't help but think of that. What if everything backfires? What if I make things worse than they already are? But then again, what is the high road? Maybe it's time to throw that out the window. Maybe it's time for me to take a stand, no matter the cost. Do I go to the event? Or do I send my message another way? I could just leave the video behind, cut ties, and let him live in his bubble of lies. Maybe that's the high road. But the satisfying road, now, that's a different story. The suspense of slipping the picture into the slideshow, making eye contact with him when it appears on screen. Knowing that he knows. That could be my power. Maybe it's the only thing left for me to do. But what if there's no drama? What if it's all so subtle that no one notices? I could blend it in with the other photos, no one the wiser. It would be just another happy snapshot in a sea of smiles. But he'd know. And I'd know. Would it give me the closure I'm desperately seeking? Or would it just add to the weight of everything? But I'm stuck, paralyzed by my own indecision. Should I take this step? Should I make the ultimate power move and slip in the photo? Should I confront him openly or quietly sabotage his night? My emotions are tangled. My thoughts, like a storm, swirl in every direction. Then, one comment on a forum catches my eye. It's simple, just slip it in. Make eye contact. Let him see that you know. It's not the high road, but maybe it's the only road left for me. The thought lingers in my mind. I laugh to myself. Maybe that's all I need, just the satisfaction of that brief, stolen glance between us. But do I have the courage to actually do it? I'm not exactly the type to play games. Another comment suggests something less dramatic. Don't make the video at all. Use the time he's at the banquet to pack up and move out. If I add the photo, it's clear what I'm doing. It would ruin his night, but no one else would know. Just slip it in with the rest of the pictures. They won't think twice. Maybe that's the better option. The quiet way to make my exit. No spectacle, just clean, and done. But then, something hits me. I look through the photos, and there's one that fits so perfectly. It's innocent enough. But I can't shake the feeling that something is holding me back. The girl, what if she's there? What if she feels awkward, exposed? And then I think, what's my responsibility here? Is it about me, or is it about how I want him to feel? I can't let it go. The words of one last comment resonate in me. The high road is graceful exit. Leave it behind. It's about self-respect. And yet, the pull to confront him, to make him feel the weight of his betrayal, is overwhelming. What if that's what I need to regain control of my life? So, what did I do? I took the low road, the road that felt right, in that moment of raw emotion. I added the photos, the ones that told a story no one else could read. A few pictures, tasteful, but enough. Enough to send the message. Then, standing there at the podium, I spoke kindly of him, pretending everything was fine. But when my turn was over, I didn't stay. I walked out, leaving him in his moment, as I quietly reclaimed mine. And as I drove home, I felt something strange. Peace? Maybe. Control? Definitely. I knew I had done something. I had made a choice. But then, 20 minutes later, the texts started pouring in. Where had I gone? Where did I get the photos from? What did he know? How much did I know? I texted him back. I know about her, but there are no more photos. There never were. The silence that followed was deafening. That night, he didn't come home. The next day, he called. He wanted to meet. Public place, Starbucks. I agreed. I arrived early, waited. He showed up late, and as he sat down, the tension between us was palpable. And without missing a beat, he started talking. He started rambling. Excuses spilling out of his mouth. It just happened, he muttered, and I regret it. She doesn't mean anything to me. His voice was soft, pleading. She looked like a girl I had a crush on in high school. I was weak, powerless against my teenage self. The words felt hollow, desperate, nothing but a broken record. I didn't interrupt. I just sat there, listening to him unravel. He looked at me, waiting for a reaction, hoping for something that would say, "I'm sorry. I'll forgive you." But all I could ask was, "So where did you stay the past few nights?" He stammered, but the answer was clear. "Her house." "And what did you do?" I asked, though I already knew. The silence that followed was thick, like the weight of everything crashing down around us. No more words needed to be exchanged. I knew it then. The decision had been made. I was leaving him. He scrambled for forgiveness, for a second chance, pledging to change. I just looked at him, cold, calm. "I don't want you to change," I said, my voice steady. "If this is who you really are, someone who cheats on his girlfriend, then that's not someone I want in my life." And then he said it. He said he had been thinking about proposing. The words hit like a slap, but I didn't flinch. I simply looked at him and said, "Good thing I found out before." Weeks passed. He moved out. I was fine. Free. People still asked about him. I didn't sugarcoat it. He left me for a girl who looked like his high school crush. That was the truth, plain and simple. And just like that, it was over. There was no going back, no maybe we can work it out. We were done. The relationship was finished, and I had no regrets. It was a clean break. Some people, like one commenter, said, "There's no need to always take the high road." And I agreed. The high road isn't always the path to walk. One commenter, with a bit of humor, asked, "Is he for real?" He cheated, and when asked where he spent the night, he said at his mistress's place. Ridiculous. But somehow, it didn't surprise me. Cheaters never seem to realize when their time is up. They think they can lie and smooth things over, but they don't get it. They've crossed a line that can never be uncrossed. Someone else remarked, "Thinking of proposing doesn't fix the cheating." Exactly. It wasn't an apology, it was an attempt at manipulation. An insult wrapped in a proposal. And then there was the person who said, "Sounds like they said it to make OP regret leaving." Like it was a punishment to not be proposed to by a cheater. How right they were. It was a last-ditch effort to control the situation, but I wasn't having it. I had moved on, and that was the end of it. Then came the next story. This one was different, but it still stung. My wife had a best friend. A guy. Chuck. They'd been close since high school. I didn't mind it at first. He was a good guy, or so I thought. But things were changing, and I could feel it. Chuck had come out as gay a while ago, and my wife, Em, had always been supportive. They had been through a lot together. After Chuck was disowned by his parents, he moved in with Em and her family. Em told me about him when we started dating, and I understood. It wasn't a problem. I liked Chuck. He was a good guy. We got engaged, and everything seemed fine. Until I started a big project in another city. Long hours. Long weeks. I barely had time for myself, let alone my wife. But we had talked about it, and I knew it would be worth it. We'd pay off debt, start a family. It was only for a year. In March, Chuck's boyfriend cheated on him. Em, being the caring person she is, offered for Chuck to move in with us. I didn't mind at first. He was devastated, and she loved him like a brother. I couldn't say no. But soon, it felt like everything was shifting. Em and Chuck were inseparable. I'd come home after long days of work, and they'd be out, doing things together. Dinner, movies, dancing. It was like I wasn't even part of the picture anymore. One night, I woke up to find them curled up on the couch together, asleep. The TV was still on. I froze. There was nothing inherently wrong with it, but it didn't feel right. It made me uncomfortable. I realized I hadn't been the best husband lately. I'd been too focused on work, on the project. I hadn't planned anything for Em and me. So, I decided it was time to fix that. I planned a date night for us. Just the two of us. It had been a while. She was excited when I told her. But when I got home that Friday, she and Chuck were gone. I waited. I got ready. When I called her at 7:15, asking where they were, she told me they'd gone shopping and were getting dinner. I was stunned. "What about our date?" I asked. Her response? "Oh, I forgot." Oh well. And just like that, everything I had been feeling was confirmed. The evening dragged on as I waited, feeling more distant by the minute. She never once thought to invite me. She never even acknowledged the significance of our plans. As I stood there, heart sinking, a memory from my own childhood surfaced. My father, always so controlling, his anger boiling over, throwing things in fits of rage. Never at us, but still, it was terrifying. I swore to myself I'd never be like him, never let that side of him take root in my own life, in my marriage. I promised I wouldn't control her, wouldn't micromanage her. But when she forgot our date, a flicker of that anger rose in me. I didn't say a word. I simply swallowed it, letting the tension bubble under the surface. But I knew I needed to address it, needed to be honest about how I was feeling. Later that evening, I asked her to talk. I had written it all down, because I knew I'd need the clarity to keep myself grounded. I started by telling her that I loved Chuck. That he was always welcome in our home. But I also told her that I felt like our marriage was suffering. That I felt left behind, neglected. We needed to work on us. She snapped. It was as though the words came out wrong, and suddenly I wasn't talking about us anymore. She thought I was attacking Chuck. Maybe I hadn't phrased it right, but the storm she unleashed, it was nothing I had expected. She defended him like a lioness. The defensiveness turned to anger, her words cutting deep. Chuck is my soulmate, she said, her voice hard and unyielding. You just have to get used to that. I froze. My brain couldn't catch up. How was I supposed to process that? I had always thought we were soulmates. But hearing those words, hearing her say she considered him her soulmate? It shattered me. I couldn't speak. I just shut down. What could I even say? How do you respond to something like that? I don't even remember the rest of the conversation. All I remember is how she stormed off, how she made the couch her bed for the night. The next day, they were gone. Out together, like nothing had happened. She came back with him on Saturday, acting as though everything was fine. She even tried to flirt with me on Sunday, batting her eyes like she used to when we were in sync. But this time, it made me sick. I couldn't handle it. I told her that I had a busy week ahead with work, and I'd be staying at a hotel near the job site. I had done it before, but this time, it felt different. It wasn't just about work anymore. It was about escape. And I haven't seen her since Sunday night. Typing all of this out has made me realize just how burned out I am. Maybe I've checked out too much, spent too long buried in work. But the realization hits hard. How can I move forward when she will never love me the way I love her? There's been some hope from an unexpected source, comments from women who say they have more than one soulmate. It's given me a sliver of hope. To me, the word soulmate means one person. But maybe I misunderstood what she meant. We've been texting a bit this week. She called last night, saying she missed me, that she couldn't wait for me to come home. Tonight, we're supposed to talk. She says she loves me, that we need to work things out. I don't know if that's enough. I guess tonight will be the moment I finally understand where I stand in her heart. In the sea of comments, one voice stood out. Dude, he may be gay, but your wife is in love with him. The blunt truth felt like a slap. Another comment hit even harder. She's basically having an emotional affair with him. The thought made my stomach churn. What am I supposed to do with that? Someone else said, you've got two options. Talk to your wife, make Chuck leave, and then focus on rebuilding what's left. If she refuses, then it's time to end it. She's emotionally cheating with him. If you can't see that, then it's time to walk away. Others were more direct. The second she tells you someone else is her soulmate, it's over. You can't come back from that. Some part of me still hesitates. I understand her wanting to be there for Chuck when he was hurting, but it's been 6 months. 6 months of me feeling pushed aside, forgotten. And then she attacked me. How am I supposed to come back from that? I'm torn between confronting her again, maybe giving her an ultimatum. Should I try counseling? Or is it really just over? I can't imagine life without her, but maybe that's exactly what I have to do now. One comment caught my eye. Chuck has money, right? He's been living with you for 6 months now. He doesn't need to stay, and he's clearly causing issues in your marriage. He knows what's going on, and yet, he's not in a rush to leave. And then another voice, tell your wife. Let her know that when she says someone else is her soulmate, she's ending your marriage. Tell Chuck to leave, and then figure out where you both stand emotionally. Tonight will determine everything. If she's willing to fight for us, for our marriage. Or if it's too late. I'm not sure I can keep fighting alone.